I thought I needed to sneeze. Hi, this is Rick, and welcome to Spit Take. I'm here with one of my co-hosts, Steph. Honey.
Oh my God, I'm not a guest host this week. Amazing.
Well, yeah. Well, Adam's not here, so
Oh yes, I'm no longer a
someone had to fill
guest.
in for him. All right. So Adam's not here yet. I don't know if what's going on with that. I'm not going to get into that, but he is not here yet. And so I wanted to start off with Welcome to Derry, but maybe we'll hold off on that for just a second. Steph,
hmm
I know you had a movie you were recommending. What? Why don't you take a second and tell me about it?
Sure. So I stumbled upon Opus last night. John Malkovich is one of the main characters, and I can't remember her name, the girl from The Bear. Oh, gosh, hold on,
Yeah,
let
I
me
know what
look.
you're talking about.
Yeah, so and I don't want to butcher her name and be, disrespectful. Ayo Edebiri. Um,
Nah, just butcher it.
Yeah, I butchered it. But she was the very main character, and I kind of watched the trailer and I thought this could be interesting. It looks like a good like psychological thing coming in, and I was hooked. I mean, there were twists and turns throughout the entire story. Like kind of what's gonna happen, and I'm not gonna give it away because I want you guys to watch it. You kind of like know right away like what she's going into, but then you're like, holy shit, that took a whole different turn. Was not expecting that. John Malkovich, amazing. As always. He played that creepy, like almost cult leader style but oh, I gotta tell you, I love like certain voices and sounds and like certain people can lull me to sleep. And he is one of those people with that voice where I'm like, if you could just talk me to sleep every night, I would have the deepest sleep ever. His voice is so therapeutic. And maybe I'm in the minority on that one, but yeah, I'm not going to give away much, but I definitely suggest watching Opus if you have not. Uh, we can talk about it more when you guys do watch it, Rick, or I don't know if Adam will, but if you do, I think that it has a lot of political undertones, which were interesting as well. And it kind of gives like a little bit of a who was the guy who made all the cult kids drink the Kool-Aid?
All the cult kids.
You remember there was that cult and he had everybody drink the Kool-Aid and they all
Yeah,
died?
the dude from Indianapolis.
Oh, well, okay. That don't drink the Kool-Aid in Indy. Um, but it was kind of that whole sentiment, but there's so much more to the story, and it's like mind control and like I'm kind of obsessed with the cult life. Like I find it fascinating that people can be so brainwashed that they just follow whatever somebody says, and it kind of had that element to it. So,
We live it
Opus.
every day.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So, Opus, 10 out of 10.
What is it on? I see. Oh, it's on Max. Okay, yeah, I'll have to watch it. I will
Yeah.
watch it, but Abraham Lincoln Vampire Slayer's on Max. So you have
Oh
to watch
boy.
that.
I mean, you do. I love vampires. I think I might have actually watched that. I'm not gonna lie. I think I tried to watch it and I was like, this is just so outrageous. I can't
Oh
get
man,
into it.
I read the novel. So good.
Maybe it was maybe it was the novel I started. It was one of those things. I watched it or I read the novel when I was in my reading phase, but
That was a
it's
short-lived little fad.
it was. Yeah, there was I tried. I didn't do it.
There's been a
But
lot
like,
of short-lived fads.
yeah, vampires though will never die, literally and
I was
figuratively.
thinking, okay, so I've learned from playing Marvel Rivals because I'm a 43-year-old autistic man who's obsessed with Marvel and always has been, especially the X-Men since 1986 when I was 4 years old. I remember it well. I was watching the first animated X-Men cartoon, Australian voice for Wolverine. This is a foretale. What was I talking about? Um,
Vampires.
we have this thing called aura farming. Uh,
Uh-huh.
so I guess it's where the kids create aura, and they're like, everybody's like, oh man, look at that aura, and they're like farming it or whatever. I don't know, but I say it with my daughter or my child, and they're like, stop talking, stop saying 6, 7, stop,
Oh
stop doing
yeah.
that, and I'll go, no cap, and that is, those things are kind of lasting longer, but Chicken Jockey did not last very long.
Mm. I don't know what a chicken jockey is.
Yeah. So in the what is it? The not the Roblox. What's the other one? The game where
Uh,
you like mine stuff?
Sims.
Huh?
I don't know.
No, Minecraft.
Oh,
So they had a
okay.
Minecraft movie and Jack Black goes, Chicken Jockey. I didn't watch it. And so everybody was just saying it for like a week and then it's over.
I think I missed that week. Might have been sick. Um,
But
I
it's like there's
will.
been stuff that's like short lived. Like it was just like
Yeah.
really popular for like 1 second. But
Mhm.
like the Hot Tua girl went on way longer than she should have.
Yes, she got more than 15 minutes of fame. I think she got about 45 minutes of fame. She was just on something the other day. I can't remember what we were watching, and
She's
I was like,
still freaking going and making money off this
yeah, I was like,
right away. She's selling hats and shit, and people are like, "Yeah, that's so funny. It's about time we find a girl that doesn't take things too seriously." And
yeah,
it's like, why are you upset because she said spit on a penis? That's why you think that's funny? Because she went Haktua, and you're gonna pay $500 for a signed hat. What?
I mean, people just like glom onto things and just don't let go. I don't understand it. I don't really get into the fads. Um, Minus vampires and witches, but those aren't fads. Those are long-term staples in
Well,
life.
then you'll love Abraham Lincoln Vampire Slayer.
Okay, I maybe I'll try it. I have been rewatching What We Do in the Shadows, or what is it? Right? What We Do in the Shadows? Yeah. Because we were talking about it a couple weeks ago, and I was like, you know what? I need something to watch because I keep getting kicked off of all of my streaming accounts for some reason or another. And it was on, I think, Hulu. So I put it on and I was like, I forgot how fucking funny this show is. Like, it is just, it's so stupid. And I know you guys talked about the energy vampire, um, Colin Robinson.
Yeah.
And he's great.
He's the best part of the show. I only watched a few episodes. He's the best part of the show. I think it's
Yeah,
because the only thing that's not dry humor. It's obvious
yeah,
humor. I
yeah.
don't know. It's
It could.
something I get. The rest of it, I guess, it's like, okay. For me,
I See, for me, I just find it amusing. These like
it's got to be
idiots.
overly silly. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah, and I feel like that's how most of it are when they're like bat, and then they turn into a bat. Like they have to announce they're turning into a bat, and they just had the werewolf vampire brawl, and they're like choose your weapon, and he pulls out like a squeaky toy and throws it over the edge, and they're like just give us some time to recoup, and I'm like, what is going on in this show? And then the main girl, I forget her name, she's obsessed with her old lover Gregory, but his name is Jeff, and she's like, Jeff. His name is Jeff. That's
Well,
not a warrior's name.
we better stop talking about this before Adam comes in because then we'll never get off the subject, and I'm definitely afraid of that because I am not a part of that conversation at the moment. So
Okay.
let's go ahead and talk about Welcome to Derry. Uh, did you watch the new episode?
I did. Yes. Um what are your thoughts first?
Uh, I'm just like okay, like we're not at a point where anything's actually happening yet. There's a lot of setup, you know. But during the setup, they try to make things interesting by having these creative scenes, you know, with Pennywise or
Mm-hmm.
the creature, whatever it is. Uh, and so they have a couple of those scenes that try to keep the pace going.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but the actual scenes that they had didn't really speak to me
Mm-hmm.
like old Pennywise stuff does. The first one was just freaking weird. With the mom and the belly monster mouth or whatever.
Yeah.
Um, and then the second one was the pickle jar, the pickle scene,
Oh yeah,
and
yeah.
it was just too fake. Like it
Yeah.
was obvious fake, you know. And I think
Yeah.
that's kind of like where we're at. Is that's about all you can judge. They obviously are. The military's obviously trying to harness
Mm-hmm.
Pennywise, uh, which is interesting. I am interested to see where they go with the military stuff.
So I found the military stuff to be interesting, and I thought, is it an underlying kind of dig at our government where they're like, because they're digging up Pennywise to use against whoever, the Russians or whoever they're using it against. And I thought, they created this monster in dairy, or they're harnessing this monster in dairy, as you said. And it's like, are they saying like the government is controlling all of the bad things and hiding them away and using it as a ploy to control us? I don't know. Maybe went too deep into that. Could just be a show, but I was like, is
Well,
this
that's what I was saying. What if throughout these movies we find out like they make another sequel to it
mhm,
and include the government and say, "Oh, we're just finding out that the military allowed this to happen to these children
mhm,
because that's how they harness it." So they're like, for the greater good, allowing children to be tortured. You see what I'm saying?
yeah. I think this the first episode I was hooked. And for anybody listening that does not know, I am terrified of clowns. People constantly send me clown memes and whatever on my Instagram and think it's funny. It's not funny. Um, it's actually very mean. But I was very intrigued as to where they were going with this. And I was like, okay, a little bit gory. I can handle that. So the second one, I'd spoken to Adam on Halloween, and he said it's more of a setup. Oh, and Adam just joined us.
Hello.
We're discussing dairy.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah,
Sorry I'm
And
so
late.
no worries, things happen. So the second one, yeah, I'm with you. The pickle scene was a little too fake, and I I hated that what's her face blamed the dad and couldn't stand up for herself because she was under the gun, and she still ended up in Juniper Creek. Bothered me.
right,
So,
right, but she really didn't say anything, and
yeah,
that's the thing. I mean,
yeah,
I can't be certain. Like she didn't. The thing is, she didn't do anything wrong because she didn't incriminate him. She told the truth. That I can't be certain. I can't be certain where anybody is. You know.
I want to know what happens to the wife, the the military guy, the Air Force guy. I want to know because his wife, there's like some backstory. They're like, this isn't Shreveport again, and I'm like, what happened in Shreveport? I'm intrigued by this.
Yeah, I do want to see where that's kind of going because obviously they're going to give us some kind of exposition about it at some point. But um, I I'm really interested to see where his story goes because that's Mike Hanlon's grandfather, obviously. Um, the whole amygdala or whatever damage that he's got, where he has no fear. It's kind of like I don't know. It's an interesting turn from like what the movies were, right? Because they're trying to put in a whole story about the military now. Like, it's cool. I
Yeah,
don't know. I want to
we
see it.
discussed that. Yeah.
Oh.
And
Yeah,
that was
like
something. That was something where I think we talked about in Alien 2, where like adding things creates a fresh start for the movies. You
Yeah.
know, I guess the
mhm.
question is this something that it needed? I feel like what Alien Earth did was needed by adding new lore, adding new aliens.
Yes.
Was this something that it needed? Because it does kind of take me out of what I felt watching it. You know what I mean?
I know exactly what you're talking about because I kind of felt the same way. I want to say, I want to see where it goes. That's what I want to say. I want to see where it goes because, like we talked about last time, with if they were kind of building a Stephen King universe, the
Oh, they definitely are.
right. So this could lead into what happened in the mist, right? Like experiment because that was an extra dimensional. Those were extra dimensional beings that they brought over with a machine of some sort.
Yeah, it's still. I guess even making a universe like that. I'm sorry, I interrupted you.
No, no, go ahead. I was
I, no, it's just that making a universe like that, like it is following these kids into adulthood,
mm-hmm.
uh, and it's the stories about their life, like their entire life between them being kids and the aftermath, like even looking at the original,
Mm-hmm.
and then their redemption. And so
Right.
that's what it has been about, is these kids being tortured by this experience their whole lives and never being able to move on from that.
Yeah.
And now we're adding in other elements that really takes me out of that.
So
Yes.
do you
I know what you're saying.
so notice though it's all the same last names that were in the original It movies. Is it just targeting is it targeting just those family members because they had something to do with digging them up, or is it targeting everybody in the community? Because there seems to be a connection with like Mike Hanlon, the Urises, and a couple others. So it's like, is it just targeting those specific families and there's casualties along the way?
Maybe. I mean, it's I don't know if it's necessarily targeting them as much as it's just kind of playing fanfare to the original movies. Not the
Hmm.
original movie, but the movies in general. I think it's paying a little fanfare and like, hey, we're gonna connect this. It's just like they're just using the last name, kind of like Tarantino does in all his movies, where it's like there's all these weird connections, even though they're not really connected story wise to the same movies, just the
It's more
characters.
kind of showing that they're in the same universe,
Yeah.
and yeah, making those. I think that's really what those connections are for, is to show, hey, this is all happening in the King or the VSQ universe, or
Mm-hmm.
uh, like you just make these little Easter eggs,
Yeah.
kind of like
The
how the Book of the Dead showed up in uh, was it
Friday
the
the
last Friday the
13th.
13th,
Yep. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
ET and Star Wars.
Yeah. There's like a little fan service and all that, just as Easter eggs. I am interested to see because it was in the trailer that at one point the military guys go into the sewer to go find it, and or Pennywise, I guess we can call him, but they go into the sewer to find him, and it was in the trailer. So I'm interested to see if Pennywise does anything to adults or if it's just kids. I'm sure that he's going to kill some of the adults because the go-to cannon fodder of any movie is the military. So nameless military guys. You know, the red
But
shirts.
but I thought adults couldn't see it. I
He
thought it was
does.
only
No,
children.
he does. He does. He can kill adults. It's just that he gets more easily from kids, and
Yeah.
fear is
Gotcha.
what fuels him. So he goes
Okay.
for the squishies, as we call it in the game world.
Yeah. The yeah, because in the second movie, the first one he kills, I would call them adults, maybe teenagers, but
He killed Tom Rogan.
yeah. And then when the loser club comes back to Derry, he makes it very clear he's trying to kill them. So, and they were seeing all the hallucinations and everything too. So,
That's true, but I wonder, again, going back to, is it because they saw him as children, so they've already been exposed, and can
Well,
people who
yeah,
weren't
they're trauma. They're already
exposed,
trauma. They're already in fear. They've always been in fear.
mhm.
right? So it's like,
A lot of
if you
fear.
haven't been exposed as a child, are you still in danger? Or, and I know that this is like deep diving and we may never know the answer to this, or is it that the adults who were not traumatized by Pennywise, are they just left alone?
Well, also you got to think the adults are coming after him.
Yeah,
I mean, he was feeding off their fear, but he didn't really attack them until they came after him.
Yeah.
yeah. And I think it's just like his preferences, kids. Like, could he kill and eat adults too? Probably, but you know, there's probably an explanation in the book somewhere about
I'm
it.
sure there's like an adult with Down syndrome here and there.
Yeah, maybe.
Like the childlike,
Yeah,
like
Likely,
heart.
yeah.
like
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, I knew it was gonna sound very
I
disabled,
I
but
knew
I'm
what you were
thinking
saying.
like somebody that's probably like more easily able to get scared.
You know, a
Yeah.
Lenny, someone with a child's mind,
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
right? And I think I don't know. I want to see more of where the show goes. I didn't think the second episode was nearly as interesting as the first one.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the first one went hard though. So like to follow that up is pretty challenging. And I'm sure you guys already talked about the fake out and everything.
No, we have not.
Okay, were we gonna talk about that? It's still technically spoilers, I think. But anyways, the ending scene of episode one, coming to find out that was not fake, blew my mind. I was
Mm-hmm.
like, damn. Again, that's where I'm saying like episode one went hard.
Yeah, really
Well,
went out of
yeah,
the
that's
gate
a
with
hard thing
that.
to follow up. Well,
It
I
barely.
that's
wouldn't.
a hard thing to follow up. Number one. Number two, you do need to set up stuff.
Mm-hmm.
My fear is with some of these shows now that are like we put out 8 episodes every 2 years, um, that they take 6, 7 episodes to set it up and then it's over. You
Right.
know, and
Yeah.
I wanted to go. I wanted to keep going. Like Alien kind of kept going. There was a little bit of slow burn, but it still kept it interesting
For sure.
though. But I don't
Yeah.
want to always be what's gonna happen next. Like I want some finality in the episodes too.
Mm-hmm.
I think, Rick, that goes back to our conversation before we even started the podcast. Adam, you missed that part. We were just talking about how shows used to have like the ending point and like you'd have the story and the filler in there, but like you always knew that there was going to be some sort of ending point. So that might just be a generational thing where we're like, we want to know kind of like a wrap up. Like you can leave a cliffhanger, but you want to have a little bit of a wrap up because I lose interest in shows that are like, okay, set up for 6 episodes and then, okay, in 2 years, we'll give you the rest of it. I lose interest personally.
Yeah, and there's been a lot of shows that have been doing that lately, and I'm trying to think of them. I can't even think of them off the top of my head, but there's quite a few shows that have used season one as the setup, and then you don't get to the good stuff until season two, which, like you said, comes out maybe 2 years later.
but a lot of the shows we used to watch was like Supernatural, Monster of the Week, but then
Hmm.
there'd be like a little hint at the story in there, but
Right.
we'd get finality in the episode. You know, and
They
now
took
it's
a
like every episode is a cliffhanger.
they took an
And
entire
so,
season to tell the story,
right,
but the season was 24 episodes, so that you were able to get a little bit of the story at a time while still having some
right.
other stuff to interest you. I don't mind the 8 to 10 episode seasons, only because I don't have a ton of time. I don't have, you know, I would love to go back and
No,
watch
I don't mind.
Supernatural. I
I
just don't
don't
have the
mind
time.
that.
Right. It's the story. It's like, hey, are you taking the entire season to
Right.
tell the
It's
story, or are
the
you setting
another
up the story?
cliffhanger. Oh,
Yeah.
It's like, and then a lot of times you get to the end of the season, it's a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
So it's like there's never any finality. But with Supernatural, it was an ongoing story for 15 years that just kept adding on and adding on and adding on. So
Mhm.
you had to have something to bite
Right.
on. You know what I mean?
Yes. That is something that I think that shows need to do better, is at least resolve some of the B plots.
Right.
Like, let the main story continue with the bad guy escaped and now we got to go do this or that. But like those side stories that are going on, like you can resolve some of that stuff. So at least there's like some kind of satisfaction from watching through it.
Yeah.
I do feel like that is a huge thing, because that's what you get with those older shows that were 24 episodes is you would have, an hour-long episode, and the story that was the main focus was resolved, but like the season story continues, and there's cliffhangers and there's reveals and everything. So it kind of takes the mystery out of it and just leaves you frustrated.
Yeah, but then but then when they do that, then I'm like, well, now they never talk about it again. Like it never happened.
Mm-hmm.
Like you'll get that like one episode that has like everything that's happened up until this point, and they show like the whole episode of that, like showing
Mm-hmm.
clips of things. But it's like other than that, they don't like ever talk about that time that happened.
Right. Yeah, it usually doesn't come up too much.
So it is kind of weird, like the monster of the week, but then at the same time, sometimes it doesn't feel like there's a lot of continuity.
That's why I'm a big fan of movies that start with the end. It's like, hey, we're showing you the ending, and they're in like the final boss fight. So you're like, there is going to be some kind of finale here,
Right.
at the end of the movie. And it's like, they start with the end, and then they go back to, they're like, let me take it back to the beginning where it all
So
started.
something has to lead there.
Yeah.
So at least you're going to be told the story.
Guy Ritchie is a big fan of doing that, which is one of the reasons I love his style, is he usually tells you the ending, but then tells you the story of how they got there. And then there's usually a twist in the ending. Yeah.
You know who else kind of gave you a glimpse into the future in a finale? Twilight.
Oh, yeah? Oh, fine. Cool.
I don't know how Twilight has ended up on my algorithm, but I've been getting a lot of Twilight things lately. And so I
Yeah.
just had to bring up Twilight.
I guess. I mean, it's a show about stuff, so. But yeah, back to Derry, though. Back to Derry. I thought Derry was very. I still thought episode 2 was very good, and we've gotten some more information, kind of what the show's going to be about. And episode 1 was definitely to set the tone. Like, here's a show where we are not afraid to off children, in front of your eyes, and no character is safe. There's going to be some twists. There's going to be some surprises. That's what episode 1 was to me. It was to set the tone of what Welcome to Derry is going to be. Episode 2 is where I feel like they really started the story.
Yeah,
I don't know if you guys agree on that, but
yeah, it was like, okay, well, episode 1, you're right. We're gonna set the tone on what it's gonna be, and like be prepared that this is gonna get fucking weird. Now that we've gotten past the initial gore stage, let's move on to the story.
I'd say if you can handle Welcome to Derry, you could probably handle The Boys.
yeah, I
It's
agree
about
with
the
that.
same. It's probably worse than The Boys for the most part.
Yeah,
The Boys has some bad stuff, but I'd say the very few stuff we got is probably more cringy than anything I see in The Boys. Not to say you don't see cringy stuff in The Boys.
Yeah.
I just
You,
feel like The Boys is more tolerable.
I feel like The Boys is more tolerable because a lot of times the gore is used for comedic effect almost.
Yeah.
Like, there's sometimes where it's just fucked
My
up, but then
problem is
there's
if you watch it, it's like they're just doing it every 5 minutes they just lost any reason for why they're doing it.
they're trying to up the ante. That's what they're doing.
It's like they're randomly at, well, the ice skating one, they're just at the ice skating rink, but like just random stuff happened for the ice skater to get sliced in half.
Yeah.
It just like had nothing to do with anything else. It's just something random that happened. And it's like,
Yeah.
let's just show this too.
I like that one. But yeah, I mean,
so it's like we're just really a highlight reel for gore is really what this show is.
yeah. But again, they do a lot of it for comedic effect, like crashing the boat through the whale and everything. Like, it was funny. The guy who was walking around inside the other dude's dick and then caught or sneezed or something and then like blew the dude up. Yeah. I don't know. All kinds of weird shit happens in there.
Okay, so you mentioned Guy Ritchie.
Yeah.
So I started wondering, are they ever going to make a Robert Downey Jr. Sherlock Holmes 3? And then I looked it up. It's coming out in 2026.
Oh, hell yeah. Those were good movies. I like them.
I'm freaking excited about that. Jude Law was Watson.
Mm-hmm.
Robert Downey Jr. was Sherlock. And that was a great team. And those were great movies.
Ava Green was in there. I think she died in the second one, though. I could be wrong about that.
The last one was made in 2011. Man,
yeah,
I'm very... Because this was when he was on his high with Iron Man.
Yeah.
So he was Iron Man and Sherlock Holmes at that time.
Yeah, I think that was like his follow-up to Iron Man 2, I want to say.
Yeah, I think like Sherlock Holmes came out in like 2010, and then
yeah,
the second one came out in 2011. I think it was like back to back.
They were good though. I really liked them, and I like the artistic style they took with it.
Yes, I will go back and watch those again, especially because Sherlock Holmes was one of those things that you just loved growing up with. I don't know about you, but I was reading like Sherlock Holmes novels when I was a kid. I always enjoyed. I don't know. That was just like that was the only real mystery book that I enjoyed.
I don't know if I ever really read Sherlock Holmes. I read like I don't know if you remember Encyclopedia Brown, which was like Junior Sherlock Holmes. And then there was so much media that was based on that character too. Like there was the Great Mouse Detective.
Well, there's Benedict Cumberbatch's Sherlock as well.
Yeah,
Doctor Strange.
Yes, and I think that's a public domain character now, so pretty much anybody can use him for whatever they want. But
there's also a black doctor named Watson.
Yep. There's been several variations of Sherlock Holmes, but I thought that the Robert Downey Jr. one was excellent.
The Elementary that had Lucy Liu as Watson went on for 7 seasons.
Yeah, that one lasted a long time.
I never even watched one episode of that, but I didn't realize it lasted that long.
I think it was easier for shows to last longer back then.
Did you watch that?
Unless they're Grey's Anatomy. What? Elementary?
Elementary?
No. I don't know if you guys have picked this up. I'm not big on I've never been big on watching a lot of TV or anything. The only reason that I watch a lot of this stuff is because you guys tell me I have to.
Yeah.
So since being on this show as the guest host for the past year, I pretty much have watched more shows and movies than I have in my entire life.
And you've enjoyed every minute of it.
That is not true. Actually, fun fact, Rick, this is totally off the subject. I found out on Halloween that the videos are live and people are watching us.
Yeah, she didn't know that.
Yeah.
She didn't know our podcast was live where people can watch us on video.
Huh? Someone watched us live?
I don't know if somebody actually watched it, but the content is out there on YouTube with us being live.
Yeah.
Adam's
She didn't
wife,
know that this
Yeah.
whole
I knew
time.
that.
Sarah, actually said something to me. She goes, "There were many times where I thought Steph has no idea that she's live, does she? And that her face is out there because I would sit there like, you know, curled up into a couch, falling
There's-
asleep.
We just let it roll. I was like, hey, if that's how you want to represent yourself, that's fine.
Had no idea I was representing myself. Thought this was all audio or auditory, and there was no picture. So now I have to make a conscientious effort. I can never say that word.
Conscious
not-
effort.
Conscious effort to not
Yeah,
be.
I
a
never
piece of
actually
shit.
check it.
So, yeah, no, anyways, that was fun for her to find out.
But also, we need to be able to log into the Spit Take account. So
Yeah. So,
Details.
yeah, details. It's all fine. I think I have it. Anyways, back to the show.
Yes, sorry.
But yeah, what were we talking about? We were talking about Sherlock Holmes. Yeah.
Oh, so the girl version of Sherlock Holmes would be the Babysitter's Club growing up. Just so you know.
well, there was a Nilda Holmes as well.
Yeah. That was a
Look, we're
recent
live.
movie. Yeah, we are live, of course. I can see it's right at the top. There was what's the other one?
Hey, look, we have one viewer.
Um
Hi, viewer.
I'm trying to think about what the other one was. What's the ones our little sister used to read all the time? I cannot for the life of me remember what it is. Come back to me. Forget what I'm talking about.
Was it like the Olsen twins? Those ones?
No, it wasn't the Olsen twins. I mean, she did watch a lot of the Olsen twins. That's embarrassing, but
Yeah, that is. That is.
Uh,
I don't know what. Was she reading them?
Nancy Drew.
She didn't read Nancy Drew.
She read Nancy Drew.
Hmm,
She 100% read Nancy Drew.
I don't know about that.
All right, well, whatever.
The Hardy Boys.
The Hardy Boys. There was a lot of stuff, a lot of books we read that were mystery solvers.
Thank you, Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah, you set the stage for the quirky, God,
You got
I am
this.
losing my words today. The quirky consultant for the police department. I got it. The quirky consultant for the police department. He started that whole thing that we now use, and it's like, hey, this person's got autism. They're really good at solving crimes. Hey, this person notices a lot of things. They're good at solving crimes. Hey, this person can do math. That's pretty good. Well, he can solve crimes. Like, it's just because somebody does one thing really well, all of a sudden they're excellent at solving crimes.
Yeah. Like
What was that
Drill.
show? Psych.
Yeah, Psych. Psych, one of the greatest shows of all time.
Or Armageddon.
Armageddon.
Yeah, because they could drill really good.
Well, they could, but that has nothing
Oh,
to do
yes.
with police work. Like, I think we lost you on that one. But I'm talking specifically about police work.
You said, "Oh, you could do one thing really well." And I
You can
said,
do
yeah,
one-
like drill.
Oh, I might
They
have
were
missed that.
they were really good at drilling, and they saved the
They
Earth.
got the best.
Yeah, they
Why
saved
didn't
Earth
they-
to an
Why
an
didn't
army
they just teach the astronauts to drill?
because
Yeah.
they needed Aerosmith to make his presence known. Okay.
They said that's the most common question they get is why don't they just teach the astronauts to drill instead of sending drillers to oil refinery drillers to space to be astronauts. you train the oil drillers to be astronauts instead of training the astronauts to be oil drillers. Why is that so funny?
So,
Because
Did
it's,
you-
because it's something the government would do.
yeah.
That's why it's funny.
Did
The
you ever
government
see-
would totally do that? It's like, what's the worst possible thing we can do? The most complicated thing we can do, and that's what that movie's about.
Did you ever see so that was all in the commentary by Ben Affleck on the DVD, and I watched like the YouTube video of him saying it, And it's the funniest thing because he's like sitting there because he was asking those questions to Michael Bay. He's like, hey, how does it make more sense to train oil drillers to be astronauts than astronauts to be oil drillers? And he's like, and then he told me to shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
And it's like the funniest like 10-minute segment of like DVD commentary I've ever heard in my life. Like he's
But
just
think about
talking
that though. It's the government doing things the most complicated way, and then crossing their fingers, and then when it works, they say, "See, we know what we're doing."
Okay, so
Yeah.
I just pulled
Why
up.
are you
I just
looking at me weird?
so I just
Are you
pulled
not
up a
connecting
list.
the dots like me?
Yeah. So I just pulled up a list of all the police consultant movies from 2000 till about 2020, and I'm going to read them to you right now. Monk, The Mentalist, Psych, Castle, Elementary, Sherlock, Bones, Lie to Me, Numbers, Perception, Lucifer, Hannibal, Prodigal Son, The Finder, Forever, iZombie, Rizzolian Isles, Crossing Jordan, Stumptown, Moonlighting,
Let
Miss
me
Fisher's Murder Mysteries,
stop when you get to a bad one, please.
Murdoch Mysteries, Jonathan Creek, Death in Paradise, Lupin. So,
Yeah.
Lupin.
I haven't heard
maybe
one
that is-
bad show out of that bunch.
Most
One
of, some
I
of those
do
I've never
wanna-
heard of.
One I do want to bring up is "Lie to Me." Should have went on longer. That was a great show.
I don't think I ever saw that one.
It went like 2 seasons. It's the dude that was what's the Hulk's bad guy?
Oh, Tim Roth.
Yeah, Tim Roth was "Lie to Me," and basically he's one of the dudes that can just read your facial features and tell if you're lying or not,
Yeah.
or tell what you're feeling, tell what you're thinking. Completely apparently unrealistic, but at the time I was like really into it.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna learn to do it just like him.
So what's
And I
crazy?
became a therapist.
So I've been listening to an audiobook by Oz Perlman, who's a mentalist and apparently a very famous one. I wasn't really familiar with his work, but I've watched a lot of his stuff now. And it's crazy what he can convince you to do and what he can read off of you. And he like kind of talks about some of it. His book's fantastic. But just like everything that he kind of talks about, like where he just notices small facial cues, what people do with their fingers, where they look, what it's insane. Like what he's perfected. I think he said he's been doing it about 25 years. Like just how natural. So how natural he makes it look, but he talks about how he plans for every eventuality and what happens and how to redirect people into the answer he wants them to give. It's wild that there's people who can do that kind of shit. Like it's scary almost. Because it's like reading your mind, but not really reading your mind.
I wonder how that works though, like with people who have Botox, because like we don't really have facial expressions.
Well, I don't know. You guys are freak. I don't know. You would have to
There's
ask
no
him.
body language.
There is body
like-
language.
Like
Mm.
if your feet, and I have studied this behavioral profiling. Now I'm on to something else. We won't mention that right yet. But like if you want to leave, but I'm still talking to you, your feet will be facing away from me. You
Mhm.
know, so there's specific body language. You can tell what they're thinking by their unconscious body language that we all do. It's really crazy because I actually have a graph that I made of it, and it's like amazing how much of it is true.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see if I can pull up that graph. But
There's so many different things that we all do as humans. That's just natural instinct for us. That there's people who just learn how to read it and understand it, and it'll guide them to the answers that they're looking for. But yeah, it's subtle cues. It's certain things, but also with like mentalists, it's a trick, right? They're setting it up so they get you to do the things they want you to do so that they can get the answer.
okay, so head tilt means curiosity, flirtation, or innocence.
Okay,
You know?
that's
So,
interesting.
You know, body language tells you. There's one where it's like the way if they take in a deep breath. What does that mean? You know. Oh, this one, lip compression, suppressing opinions.
Oh, I do that
Right?
a lot.
right? That's something we kind of like got the idea that it's like unique to us, but it's not.
Right.
All do it. It doesn't seem like something we all would just have that reaction to.
I wonder what it means when my mouth is closed and I'm like squinting and staring at somebody, because I do it a lot at work. I'm pretty sure it means that this person is kind of a moron, but it's got to be in there
Yeah.
somewhere in your graph.
You looking in the mirror?
Sometimes. I'm like, "Eh."
High five.
Yeah, good one. Motherfucker. But yeah, so I mean, like again, like the mentalist stuff, it's all tricks. They're doing certain things that to get the responses out of you so that they can understand what you're thinking, which is still very, very cool. And then there was a book I read a long time ago. I'm trying to remember the name of it, but I can't. But it was a book about like how to detect lying from people when they speak. And it was basically talking about learn how to ignore the body language and read what people are saying. And it was all about like the idea that people are very uncomfortable when they lie. And once you kind of establish a baseline, you can get a lot of very good clues into whether somebody is being truthful or not. So I always find that interesting. The mind is interesting. Just like what people can do.
With curiosity, there's head tilting.
Mm-hmm.
You see a Chihuahua doing that a lot, but I also see Steph doing that a lot.
That might just be
I'm
the
not
angle
even
she's
joking.
sitting at.
Those are the two things I see doing that curious head tilt. Is Steph and a Chihuahua.
I really don't like being compared to a Chihuahua. They're probably my least favorite dog, but I mean,
They're mean
The
sons of
Chihuahua's
bitches.
curious about the food I have in my hand. Steph's curious about the money I have in my wallet.
I mean, I will say you guys do say a lot of curious things where I kind of go, huh. I don't know if I necessarily agree, but I'm listening.
It's a lot of WTF in there. Like,
I like that the facial features you described about being at work were the facial features that Steph just gave me a little bit ago.
like what the fuck?
Yeah, when I was going like, what? Why are you looking at me like that? You just described it at work, like exactly what she was doing. And
Oh,
I was
yeah, I'm
like,
sure.
Why are you like?
I think
Should
that's
I
just my
be-
face.
Am I under attack here?
No, I think it's just my face. And like I'm sitting far back from my computer, even though I have my glasses on, things are still kind of like a little blurry. So I'm like looking. So it's not you, it's me.
Riveting.
Yes.
So, yeah, I don't know. That's but that was just fun, little sidetrack. But I guess what's our next topic? What are we talking about?
All right, so we will be right back after this break. Did. We're still live.
Just
Mark's
mark it.
clip
Okay, good.
comes back in, and we're back. Adam, this is ridiculous. What do you have another topic, or would you like to present our arguments for Cap versus Iron Man?
So I can present our arguments. So
Hold on,
we're
let me get my timer.
oh, well, fuck your timer. I don't need a timer. So me and Rick,
We get a minute each. So
A minute each.
describe what we're debating.
So we're going to be talking about Captain America: Civil War, the Marvel movie that came out. We're talking about the movie, or are we talking about the comic book? I'll make sure that I got this right.
We can say both because it's pretty much the same thing.
Yeah, that's true. So
There's
we're going to be
differences, but it's pretty much the same results.
Yeah. So we were, we wanted to debate a little bit about the Marvel Civil War, basically. Captain America Civil War for the moviegoers who are not familiar with the comics, because there were two opposing sides in there, and we've each decided to take a side and kind of debate their points and what we think are, the realities of it. And just side note, me and Rick went to go see Captain America Civil War back when it came out. We went to go see it in theaters. And one of my favorite stories to tell people when we went to go see that is as we're waiting in line, there's some guy walking around doing his like video blog or something like that, asking people online like, yeah, so who you rooting for and everything. And he came to Rick and he's like, yeah, he's like, so who do you want to win? And then Rick's like, well, I'm looking for Batman to win. So I think like Batman vs Superman came out like a month later or something like that. He's like, yeah, I'm waiting for Batman to win. And the guy looked like so shocked by the answer, like who is this guy? And I'll just never forget the guy's face, just like Rick just ruined his whole video.
I wonder if that video's out there. I wonder if that's out there.
I'm pretty sure we were drinking heavily at that point in our lives, so but that I'll never forget that guy's face, just like let down by you. Like you let that stranger down. Ruined his video.
Remember me, because I don't remember it. I remember it now, but like as you're talking about, like I don't remember this.
I only remember it because the guy's face, because he's like going down the line asking people, and they're saying things, and we're at like the whatever that Hollywood theater was, I think in Aurora.
In Aurora,
Yeah.
Hollywood
But he's
Boulevard.
Yeah, he's going down the line, just continuous filming, like, hey, who are you like rooting for? As he's like in the video, and then they come to Rick, and he's like, I'm here for Batman. And the guy's just like, fuck, like, just you just ruined his day, and it was like that's one of my greatest memories of you of all time. Was that Civil War?
Man, that was a great theater.
Yeah, I missed that theater.
They
Yeah,
had the
dinner and a
Wizard of
show.
Oz theater,
Yeah,
and they had flying monkeys and stuff. I
Yep.
missed that. We should go back there one day.
we should. But in any case, we're talking about Marvel Civil War, and we're going to present
But
our
The
arguments.
new Avengers. Oh, sorry. Yeah, we are. But the new Avengers trailer's coming out next month. By the way, I should mention.
Oh, is it? Nice.
Yes, that would be a good one to go back and watch.
It sure would. I do like the Avengers. But yeah, so I'm going to be arguing for Cap's point, and Rick's going to be arguing for Iron Man's point. Like we kind of said, the movies and the comic books are very similar in the plot line, and kind of the end result, with some variable differences. But yeah, so I'll start off, and I'm just going to give 1 point right off the bat, and I completely agree with Cap about registering superhumans inside of that universe basically allows the government to get to say who is the enemy. So they would pretty much be in the government's pocket by saying, yes, we're registering with the government. So, and as somebody who opposes registering most things with the government, I find that bad. So that's my main point that I think I would make about that. I don't know how much I need to elaborate on it. I don't know if Rick's got a counterpoint to that.
Yes, absolutely. Because first of all, Rogers doesn't come up with a system to ensure what happened in Sokovia happens again. Number one, he has not taken ownership, for his autonomy, risking civilians. The 600 plus mass shootings. And we also got to think about Hydra and the UN and Russia. And think about if this goes unchecked, then what will happen if heroes deflect? There is so much to this system that is complicated that we need to trust the people to vote in the right people to ensure uncorruptibly that there's just regulation going on. We just need to be able to track what's going on.
I don't think that that's correct. So I'm going back to being in the superhero world, right? Like you've got people out there being heroes, you got people out there as villains, and they're tracking the villains, but the heroes need to be able to act independently with free thought without being controlled by the government. But like, what stops the U.S. government from one day saying, "Hey, Russia's a threat to all the existence of the U.S. Let's take the Avengers and send them to Russia to go fight"? What stops them from doing that? Not really much. And if the Avengers decide to say, "Hey, we're not going to do that," well, what's going to happen? They're registered and they're going to be blackballed and say, "Hey, you know what? You're not allowed to superhero anymore. You can't do this." Heroes need to be able to independently have the free thought to go out there and save people.
Registered is not to be ordered around by the state. It's just to be registered to do that job. If the government wants to create a superhero team and send them to Russia, they will do that. And they probably have in real life.
But that's, it's the argument that Cap's making, though, is like, hey, by signing this, by being a part of this, we're putting ourselves in line with the government. We're saying that we are going to be their patsies on this. And in a world where we already know that government corruption exists because Hydra somehow infiltrated all of S.H.I.E.L.D., which I still don't believe, but Hydra infiltrated all of S.H.I.E.L.D., like, if you're registering as a superhuman, I'm assuming that comes with your secret identity, which a lot of them don't have in the Marvel Universe, which makes it a little bit more feasible. But if you didn't want that to get out, if they had the information on you, like, who knows what the registration form looks like, right? Like, hey, who's your nearest living relative? Like, who is this? Oh, hey, it's just emergency contact. Well, then one day they say, hey, guess what? I'm going to shoot Aunt May in the fucking head if you don't walk over to Russia right now and throw some spider webs at people. Like, there's way too much corruption, and there's way too much that they could hold over the heroes to send them over there. And that's why I think Steve is right. I think Captain America is right that, they shouldn't be in the pocket of the government. And that's also my bias against the U.S. government in general. But I don't think that there's any reason they should have to register. Like, they should be able to freelance and do their superhero stuff. And you know what? If America says, hey, we want a superhero team that works strictly for the government, I also feel that the heroes should have the right to sign up and do that.
It wasn't about working for the government, though. It was just about registration. But can I, as a therapist, do this unlicensed? Should I be able to do this unlicensed?
You have an education, you don't have any special powers.
Should a doctor be able to practice medicine without education, without certification? Should there not be a standard to which someone might use this power?
But the U.S. government is not interested in Rick Rogers, the therapist, going over to Russia to therapize people. They're not interested in saying, hey, doctor, guess what? Go to Russia and fix them.
Me a couple times, and I have worked for the government.
Right.
I've therapized pirates. I've therapized rock stars.
For people that needed help, not to overthrow a government.
Pirates might.
You never know.
What I'm saying, though, is and this is expanded more inside of the comic book. The movies, like, most of the heroes that were involved in that were not, they weren't the kind of people who could topple a government. But then you get into the whole reason in the comic books that they started the Civil War, which was, I'm drawing a blank on their name. You'll think of it. But the dude explodes, basically, a mini nuke inside of a town, and that's what causes the whole Civil War to actually happen, is he kills a bunch of innocent people. And that's where their argument for, hey, we need to register superhumans because we don't know how dangerous all of them are. And this is a universe where the X-Men exist. There's all kinds of mutants, aliens, tech guys. Just super soldiers, abominations, Hulks, everything out there.
New warriors.
That could... Nitro? Okay. I couldn't think. I wanted to say Pyro, but I'm like, that's not right. Nitro.
No, Pyro just controls fire.
Fire, yeah.
This guy was getting hotter and hotter till he exploded.
Yep. So that one, there's way more dangerous superhumans that they could manipulate to really cause damage. Again, in the movie, is Captain America going to topple the Russian government? He's not. Thor would probably be their best bet, maybe the Hulk. But they weren't even in that movie because that would have been very one-sided.
Okay, well, how many people died in Sokovia? How many people died in Superman?
I don't know the answer to the Sokovia
How
one.
many people died?
Superman was a lot.
Yeah. How many people died in you can't have Batman running around shooting people.
Yeah. Batman should
You
not be
can't
running
have
around shooting
The
people.
Punisher running around just slaughtering people.
The Punisher is like, by definition, he's kind of a criminal. I wouldn't call him a hero. And he plays by his own rules. He'd never register anyways. Doesn't matter if they put it out there. He'd be
Okay,
like,
we'll
"Go
say
eat
vigilante.
shit." Vigilante,
But
same
you
as
can't
Punisher.
have Dakin out there, or Dawkin, however you pronounce it.
Yeah.
I always say Dakin. Out there, slicing up the Punisher.
Yeah.
There needs to be some, because I can just say, "Oh, self-defense."
But see, then what they need to do is rewrite the law. The registration doesn't matter. The law is what matters. So if you decide to go out and be a superhero, but you're offing motherfuckers, like, that should be considered a crime. They should say, listen, like, you're killing innocent people. Like, it's, we're gonna take you out of here. Which a lot of superheroes do end up getting held accountable for. I know Green
Now, how
Arrow's
are they
been
gonna
arrested.
prove that?
What?
Unless they are, how are they going to prove that that's what happened? I can set it up to be anything I want it to be. So I can be a superhero who offs the villain and then scrub it to where I am innocent.
Depends on your superhero powers. But then maybe you need to get some superhero detectives out there, okay? Martian Manhunter, great superhero detective.
So now we're spending more tax money on detectives for superheroes instead of registering superheroes and having them pay us for the registration to ensure that they follow a specific list of humane laws.
No, we should not
with no
register them.
excuses, such as wearing a body camera. Because sooner or later, you know what's going to happen. Absolute power corrupts.
Right, so why give the government all access to all that power?
The superheroes are now the cops. They're the pigs now.
But think about this. In the Civil War, in the comic book, the X-Men were already basically outlawed because they were trying to help the town that blew up, and they had the Sentinels having to watch over them because the mutants weren't allowed to do anything because of their powers. They passed some kind of legislation. I can't remember exactly what happened, but they were basically under watch, and they were like, hey, we're not allowing you to do anything. So that's the kind of like corrupt government. Just because the government decides, hey, your powers are too dangerous, we're not going to let you do anything.
So now we're paying taxes again to protect us instead of requiring them to pay and create financial gain to ensure that they protect us.
But the registration, like, so what is the registration?
It's actually extra effort and more money and does not make fiscal sense.
But what is the registration? What information are they having to provide?
Well, what do you provide when you sign up for a registration?
For what?
For any license. Steph,
For a
you
car,
got a real
for a
estate
gun?
license?
What?
You got like a real estate sales license?
Yes.
Okay. What is required to get that license?
I mean, we had to take a test, and then you have to register through IDFPR, and they do a background check on you, make sure there's no criminal history, that you're paid up on all of your child support, if you owe any, et cetera, et cetera.
You don't want some alcoholic dad not paying child support out there busting criminals, right?
Why not? Why not? Probably be the best at doing it. Like, fuck
This
these
is such a
guys.
stupid argument.
You don't even believe the argument that you're presenting. I'm just saying that at the end of the day, the registration does not make any sense because all you're doing is you're giving them power over you by saying this is who I am, this is what I can do, and they're deciding and they're picking and choosing. They're like, hey, this guy here, we can send him to do this. And like if you look at the show The Boys, right, where they're taking those superheroes and they made a corporation out of it. You know, there's so many different things that can go so wrong with saying like there's
Yeah,
people who are
but
just in it for the heroing. They want to be
that's
heroes.
that's Vought.
That is what.
That is capitalism.
But what's Shield then? Shield's been recruiting child soldiers.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, they're like, oh hey, this teenage kid's got superpowers.
Right,
Like,
and
let's bring him
but
on
that goes
board.
with my argument that if the government wants a superhero team, they could actually create one.
They could
They
create
don't.
one.
They don't have to force people to be one.
But see, what I'm saying though is that by registering, they're essentially going to have all the ammo they need to force somebody to do something against their will just to save a loved one.
Well, I think they'll have that no matter what.
Maybe. I mean, if they're good at protecting their secret identity. And again, going into the Marvel movies, nobody really had a secret identity. Everybody knew. Like, how do you not know that Scarlet Witch is Natasha Romanoff, right? You see her face. She doesn't wear a
Well,
mask.
I mean, if you got someone like Spider-Man,
Spider-Man was like the only exception in that whole movie. Ant-Man a little bit, I guess.
but like that's
Nobody really knew.
Spider-Man's whole thing is they had to erase everybody's memories to protect him
Mm-hmm.
in the comics. Or not to protect him, but to protect them.
Yeah.
Because if nobody knows that he's Spider-Man, then they can't attack his loved ones. But now Mary Jane doesn't remember who he is.
Yeah, but think about all the... She came back as Jackpot, and they got back together. Just so everybody knows there's a happy ending there. But in that, example with Spider-Man, J. Jonah Jameson's always after him and always paints him as the bad guy. And, like, there's been multiple times where something's happened. Spider-Man gets framed for something and everybody's after him. Like, if the government had his information, they're just bringing him in. He'll never be able to clear his name. First of all, it doesn't make for a very good story. Second of all, like, we need them to be out there holding that front line. And I think Big Brother needs to back the fuck off a little bit. Leave our superheroes alone. Let them hero. I'd feel safer knowing that there's a bunch of heroes out there.
Yeah, Marvel doesn't have too many secret identities. Sorry. Matt Murdock is one.
Mm-hmm.
There's a couple of them. Mostly villains.
Yeah.
So it's not like it seems like DC has a lot more of those. But like okay, so now some person could namelessly, you don't even know who it is. You don't know if they're safe. If they can be around your children coming in. It could be a chicken rapist or something. You never know. And like I want to know who my hero is. And I think that should be required. There should be some kind of license required for you to be a superhero. That Steph,
Yeah,
you
this
are
one
the
on
final decider.
honestly, I'm in the middle. I don't believe in having to register, but I get what you're saying. Um,
You have to pick a winner. It's all part of the game.
Give me a synopsis because you guys went on for like 20 minutes. Give me a
You weren't-
synopsis of each
You
of
weren't
you.
even listening. All right, so we have
I-
to start over and do it again.
No, I was
all over again.
I
We
was
even tried to wrap it up at the end for you.
I was listening. It's just like you guys just kept going, so I kind of lost it. Hold on, I gotta go plug my computer in.
We'll call
What?
it.
We'll call it a draw. I mean, you guys
We'll
both
call it a
brought up
tie.
you both brought up very, very good points. Do I think that the government should require you to register? No. But if you're doing bad things or it's getting out of hand, then yes. That's my final answer.
Fair enough.
Okay.
So no clear winner.
That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous.
Well, yeah, this was supposed to be like a minute each of you guys, and it went on for 20 minutes.
Well,
So-
Adam kept going, so I thought I should just keep going.
I could
know,
have
and
gone
then
longer.
I was like, I don't even know what you guys are talking about anymore.
I will be honest, I was not really 100% prepared for this, so
I see that.
I did my best.
All right, Rick wins.
Rick wins for being more prepared.
Yep.
Government, remember this, kids. Vote for more government. Big, beautiful government. That's what we really want. Superheroes registering for our big, beautiful government.
We're about to get canceled.
Like that should have been
Um,
my whole argument. It was like, imagine Trump having the access to all these superheroes. Come on,
Immig-
this would be very bad for a lot of people.
immigrants and superheroes.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Oh
Give them
man.
all our taxes.
Oh man.
We're on the time change, the time zone right now. So I think we're all slap happy.
Yeah, a little bit. Real quick, before we go, I do want to talk about Weapons because I did finally watch it. I know you guys have all seen it.
Hmm.
I thought it was excellent. I thought it was a very well done movie. Threw me
But
for a loop.
did you not get annoyed with the plot holes?
Be more specific. Which plot holes?
Like, I guess not plot holes, but just unexplained circumstances. Like, how was she feeding off of the kids? What were the kids doing there? Like, what? I didn't understand why you had to have 17 children in your basement just standing there like weirdos. What was the point?
My interpretation of that was that she was accessing their life force. That's what I kind of interpreted out of it. It's never explicitly said what those kids are doing, but she did seem to get healthier once the kids were in there. So
Okay.
that would be
Okay.
my assumption.
And then they kill her at the end. They turn her around, which there was something there too. I haven't seen it in a little bit, but
Mhm.
it's like the kid needed something that she used to lure the kids, and the kid like somehow turned it around. I can't remember. I'd have to rewatch. But then, so they kill her. Why are they not set free? Why are they still in a state of like hypnosis?
Well, they were there
Sounds
for. Sorry, go ahead. What were we gonna say, Rick?
Oh, I was gonna say it sounded like it probably caused damage to their brain.
I almost liked the way that ended better than just kind of happy ending because, you know, in those movies with possession or in this case voodoo, a lot of times what happens is the curse is broken and people just instantly go back to normal. And this was kind of more like, hey, some like really fucked up shit was done to these kids. They're not back to normal, and because I think I said it's been a year. At the end of it, they said it's been a year, and some of them are starting to talk again or
Started to
something.
Talk again. Yeah.
So like they're gonna heal over time, but like it's almost
Maybe it
like
turned him autistic.
yeah, or brain dead or something. It did something to him. But you know, I think it's just kind of like the realism of what would happen if curses were real. And we won't get into that right now, but if curses were real and that kind of thing happened to a kid,
Well,
like
curses
they
are
wouldn't
real.
instantly recover from it, right? It would probably take time to recover.
Depends how strong the curse is. But yeah, I guess.
But it's the same
Uh,
thing when you see like an exorcism in a movie, right? And like the whoever's possessed is all like cut up and like, hey, I'm breaking my own fingers like for my own amusement, and then like the demon leaves and all of a sudden that human is all healed up and like, hey, I'm fine
Yeah,
now.
it's good.
yeah, that's a good point.
But it's like the what was I gonna say? The oh, it kind of left the open ending too to are they permanently damaged or there's some hope that they're gonna get better, so you can create your own ending as well.
Mm-hmm.
You can imagine, oh, they eventually got better and got healed and told their story and wrote books and documentaries and
Sure.
blah blah blah. Or yeah, these kids are fucked. These kids are just spoon fed for the rest of their lives. You could tell either story.
Yep. The vegetables.
Yeah, there were a couple other things that I can't remember, and I'd have to like rewatch it that bothered me about that movie. I thought it was a great movie. Don't get me wrong. I thought it was very well done. It was something different, something out of the norm. But being into my whole like witch lore, I felt like there were just some loose pieces that just didn't make sense. And
I don't think
yeah,
she was a witch. I think she was voodoo.
I don't
What's
know.
the voodoo version?
I thought she seemed more like they were trying to get her into like the witch portion, and like casting like the spell over the kids and bringing them in. But I guess I could see voodoo with the little stick dolls.
See,
It kind of
because
goes hand in hand.
that's what I thought watching that was that it was voodoo.
She is a witch who uses sympathetic magic to control people and drain their life force to sustain her own.
Oh, okay. For some reason, I went to voodoo with that, and I think it was like with the taking like the
Well, she was
hair.
using blood magic.
Yeah,
Yeah, there was something with that at the end. Like the kid like didn't have something of hers that I thought he would have needed to control her, but I can't remember what it
well,
was off the top of my head.
he didn't control her. He took the stick that she had used to get all the children there, and
Mhm.
then he took that, which was tied to them, and then he took her like the piece of her wig hair, and tied it around the thing, and then broke it, and that's why all the kids went after her. And that was also one of the best
Yeah.
goddamn scenes I've seen in a horror movie in a long time.
That's
Was them
pretty
like
good.
crashing through windows and fences,
Yeah,
like
it was
just
pretty
to
funny.
get her. I was cracking up.
Like, I think I remember watching now. I was laughing out loud when they went to that family's house.
Yeah, they just like crashed through
Like,
the windows.
You're just like, oh, wait till they see these kids coming.
Yeah,
So-
but then tearing her apart, that was brutal.
Oh yeah, for sure, and it was awesome. And if you haven't seen the movie, basically, I'm gonna give you the ending right here. So if you don't want to hear it, ignore this. If you want to hear it, here it is. So basically, all the kids that were essentially kidnapped by this witch, as we've discovered. So the voodoo's done, and like it turns all these kids into basically a weapon. So when he cracks the stick, they all go targeting the person whose hair was wrapped around it. So basically, 17 kids come charging out of the basement with this weird Naruto run, and start chasing the witch through like yards and stuff in broad daylight, and like chase her through a house. They crash through fences. It is hilarious, and you're sitting there cheering for those kids to catch up to her and just tear her apart.
And they do.
And they do, and it was amazing. So that I just wanted to bring the movie up because I finally saw it and I wanted to watch it for so long. But I thought that the dread that they instilled in the movie was excellent. One of the creepiest parts to me was when she, I'm trying to remember her name. I want to say Julie, but that's wrong. Maybe it's right. I don't know. The main girl, the teacher, she's like sitting outside the boys' house and like watching it, and then she's like kind of a drunk, so she passes out and she's in the front seat of the car, and then like it shows the house kind of at a distance, and like the door opens and then there's just nothing for a very, very long time, just like a dark doorway, and then slowly the possessed mom, I think possessed, whatever, controlled mom, like walks out of the door with a knife just raised up, and you're just like, oh fuck, what's gonna happen next? And like, it was like very creepy, and I wish more movies would do things like that to like give you that sense. Because then she like climbs into the car and like cuts the girl's hair without her ever waking up, but you don't see it. Like she walks up to the window, looks, and then you hear the back door open. You're like, is she about to get stabbed in the neck? What's about to happen? And then you just see like scissors come up and they cut the hair and like take it. I don't know. He did so well with that movie. And it's so crazy. This is Zach Kreger, one of the whitest kids you know from the show, obviously. And I want to just mention the fact that comedy sketch writers are making the best horror movies that we're getting right now.
Yeah.
Why? I don't know.
Well, yeah.
Because
Well,
they
I
have
mean,
to
you
be
have
creative.
To be creative to, you have to have certain amount of creativity and rhythm to make people laugh. And I just feel like that's something that could be transferred over to that creativity, because the punchline of a joke is something unexpected.
Yeah.
Something you didn't see coming.
That's true.
Doesn't that make for a better horror?
Yes,
or
and the
story in general?
And I know that comedy and horror are more related than any other two genres of movies. So, I mean, I could see that. But I think it's just crazy that, you know, Zach Kreger, Jordan Peele, like two of the best horror directors at this point.
I've been watching a lot of Keenan and Peele clips on TikTok. Holy shit. Just
They're
stuff
funny.
I've never seen before.
They're so goddamn funny.
Oh my god. It's so funny.
But yeah, and now that Zach Kreger is going to do the Resident Evil reboot, I'm very excited to see that because I've loved, yeah, and he's a big gamer apparently, and he's like a huge fan of it. And
yeah, he's about our age in between.
Yeah, he said he's not going to follow the storyline of the game. He said he's going to do his own thing that will feel very much like playing Resident Evil. So I'm excited because it sounds like he's got a good plan about it. They've tried doing it. They've tried doing a variation of the story. They've tried doing the story directly, and none of them have really worked too well. So give him a try. Let him see if he can do something with it, and hopefully he stays true to what the game feels like.
Adam, I was talking to Rick earlier before you got on about Opus, and since you kind of like that psychological, I guess, genre, you should definitely try that one. Because it kind of has, it kind of reminds me a little bit of Weapons in a way.
Okay.
So I think that you would enjoy it as well. I just want you guys to watch it so you guys can tell me that like I finally watched something worth watching.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we would love to validate you at some point.
Yeah, I would really like that too.
It's called Opus, OPUS.
Yeah. It's on Max.
Okay. I mean, if it's got John Malkovich, you can't go wrong.
Yeah, he does really well. It's just like
except for being John Malkovich.
Which like I don't understand.
Never saw it.
Yeah, I never saw that. But I don't understand, like, I don't know.
I'm just mad. I'm just mad that we're never going to see his movie that's supposed to release in like, what is it, 21, 25 or something like that. It's supposed to release for like in like 100 years. Very excited about it.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he made a movie. So a bunch of people made a movie and they locked it in a vault and said this movie will not ever be screened until the 2100s.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Somebody's gonna break in there.
You would
Somebody
think
will
so.
get it. If they can break into the jewel heist in France or whatever, they can get into that vault.
Yeah. Oh, Tony Hale's in there. Great. Gotta love him.
Well, I guess will somebody like John Malkovich be looked at as today some of the great actors from the silent era?
Right.
Were like if one of those guys did that, would we be interested in that? I'm just
probably not
wondering.
Yeah. I would. I'd watch it.
would be interested, but it's not like a huge deal thing.
I think
do.
it would have to be like parents and grandparents and great grandparents or whatever that like educate their children on who John Malkovich and these other these other actors are, and grow and like be like, listen, at this time you're gonna want to watch this, so we're gonna educate you on it. But I think if it was like our parents were like, oh my god, you have to go see this, I'd be like, what the fuck is that? Why do I want to do that?
They should. Everybody should just have to watch Con Air, and then they'll know exactly who John Malkovich is. His character was the best in that. Cyrus, yeah, that's his name. He was a fucking badass.
Was he a bad guy?
Yeah, he was the antagonist, and your favorite Nick Cage was the protagonist.
Yeah. Ugh, Nicolas Cage.
But you got to admit, Con Air is such a great movie.
And it's been a minute since I've seen that.
No, just go watch
We
it
should get
again.
Nick-
It's fantastic.
We should get Nicolas Cage on this show.
I'll reach out to his agent.
Yeah, I'd love to ask him a lot of questions.
Yeah, it'd probably be something obscure you'd do.
Yeah. Well, did you ever watch that movie? Was it Willy's Wonderland?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. That movie alone, like the fact that he did that just as a challenge to himself to do an entire movie with being the main character and having no speaking lines throughout the entire movie, like that is some crazy shit that Nicolas Cage would do.
Reach out to his agent and just
Yeah.
say we want to interview him about that movie. And
It's
say
like we want to talk about Willy's Wonderland and find out when the sequel's coming out.
say we have very little audience and we would like to interview Nick Cage about Willy's Wonderland.
Yeah.
And just do that and see if he does it.
I'm
serious.
just gonna randomly. I think sometimes in IMDb they have like, hey, contact their agent. I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna get Nicolas
then
Cage
be
on the
like-
show.
Be like, you need to try to get my sister to be a fan of you because she does not like you.
Yeah, be like, hey,
That's
Yeah,
that's his
fuck
ultimate
here's your
challenge.
challenge.
She's
Yeah.
like,
Get her to like you.
she's like,
I-
yeah.
But I also
Stop
hear
trying
he's
to
like,
entice him.
I also hear he's like one of the nicest guys and like one of the coolest dudes you can ever hang out with.
Yeah,
Yeah, he just sucks at acting.
He doesn't suck at acting.
Nicholas
He's a
Cage
great
sucks
actor.
at acting. What are you talking about?
I don't think he's a good
Have
actor.
you seen Weatherman
No, I try not to.
Matchstick
No.
and Stickman? Oh, that was a good one.
Yeah. Face Off.
His daughter on that was
The
very
Rock
attractive.
with his horrible line in The Rock. He has like one really bad line in The Rock, and I don't know who wrote that, but I hope they got fired. And it's the
Face
Rocket
Off?
Man. No, in The Rock. It's
I
when
was
he
naming Face Off.
no when he does the Rocket Man thing, and he's like, you like Rocket Man? The reason I ask is because it's you. You're the Rocket Man, and he flips the switch and the rocket. Like, there's no worse way to telegraph about how you're going to kill somebody in a minute than to say something like that. Terrible writing. The rest
Did
of the
not
movie's
see that.
fantastic.
Face Off was like the most ridiculous concept for a story at that
Oh.
time.
Definitely.
Where
But he pulled it
literally
off.
They're transferring people's faces, and then all of a sudden, boom, they're that person.
Nope.
He won an Oscar for Best Actor. So,
I don't trust those people.
yeah.
And Gina Gershon was in it. Gina Gershon. And Dominique Swain was in it.
Yeah. I'm
Well,
gonna find
see
his
if you
agent.
Yeah, see if you can get him on the show. I'll
gonna
just
find
sit
him.
here and be like, I think you suck.
How to
He
email.
also
I'm gonna.
was in a movie with Jensen Ackles called Devour. Have you ever heard of Devour? Is that
No.
a show or a movie? It's a movie. There's a
Devour.
2005 movie starring Jensen Ackles. It looks like a vampire movie, and it's called Devour. I have never heard of this.
2005. Hold on, I'm looking it up right now.
Devour. Jensen Ackles.
I mean, if he's in there, then it's got to be decent.
I've
I don't
never
even
heard
see
of it.
that.
No one's ever brought it up. I've never heard anybody bring it up.
2005. It's not even showing on his IMDb.
Yeah, this just randomly showed up in my when I was just looking at this actress from Face Off.
Are you sure it's not the actress that was in there with Jensen Ackles?
The actress was in the movie with Jensen Ackles.
I thought you were saying Nicolas Cage was.
No, Jensen Ackles
Okay.
was that movie Devour.
Devour.
Sorry.
Cool.
I
Yeah,
just never heard of that movie.
Yeah, Jensen Ackles revolves around a character named Jake Gray and his friends that have been playing a deadly game called The Pathway, which eventually spirals out of control and threatens a worldwide epidemic of violence. Holy crap. Cool.
My question
All
is,
right.
why have I never heard of that?
That's
I don't know.
yes.
On the docket to watch.
Yes.
Um,
we all good?
Ask Jensen Ackles' agent if we can get him to come interview about 2005's Devour.
you can.
This
That's
is
what-
a real thing where we just go to actors and just
We're
find
gonna-
some random movie they've done and say, "Hey, can we interview only about this movie?"
But Jensen Ackles has to interview in person at my place.
We want the most indie movies they've done and to talk with them about it.
Yes, and just only talk, not even once to mention anything else they've done.
No,
Just
we don't
that-
care about your future projects. We're here to talk about Devoured, sir.
Like if we get Rainn Wilson to come and talk about that James Gunn movie.
Super.
Or we even see if we get James Gunn, Rainn Wilson, Ellen Page to come just talk about that movie. That's it. Not talk about anything else they've ever done. Not talk about the DC universe.
Just dream
not
big.
talk about Guardians of the Galaxy. Just talk about that movie and that movie only.
I would
And
love
just,
to
like,
do that.
Years later, when they're known for other things.
Yeah. Like talk
And
about
not
it like
even
this is
mention
their
the video.
breakout movie. What the most indie bullshit you've ever done.
I think we should just reach out to people and just do that and just watch that, and then really like come up with questions, and like,
I would-
act like real fans of it.
How amazing would that be? That would be awesome. All right, that's our new goal, everybody.
Find the
We're going to-
movies.
Yes, we're going to find some really well-known actors and talk about their very obscure movies from their past, like when they first got started.
And
Or
if
just
anybody
random
happens
movies.
to have heard this episode and they happen to know somebody
Mm-hmm.
that is an actor, actress, director, blah blah blah, that did some obscure indie film or something like that no one's ever seen. See
Send
if
them
they
our way.
might be interested in that.
Cool. Well, we got an action plan. All right.
All right,
You
take
guys-
us home.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for listening. And from all of us at Spit Take, we will see you next time. In a couple weeks, we will be having a special guest on the show, director of a new movie that just came out called Cuisine de la Apocalypse. Sorry, I had to get that out right. But he will be on the show in a couple of weeks. So we hope you guys tune in, and we'll see you next time.